This week's episode is about God's abundance and our seeming inability to share it. I'm Rachael Keefe, and this is Monday's Muse. On June 23rd, in Minneapolis, police officers shot and killed Thurman Blevins, a black man who was sitting on the curb with his girlfriend, his child, and his dog. The police pull up with guns drawn, and he runs away. And the whole time he's running from the police, he's begging them, "Please don't kill me. Please don't shoot me." And the police do just that. They shoot him in the back, and he dies. Yesterday, the body cams were released that confirm this, and today the pronouncement came saying that there would be no charges against the officer. Why? Thurman apparently had a gun in his pocket. It was visible. And as he was running, he had it in his hand. Now he's running away from the police with a gun in his hand that had been in his pocket. Now, Minnesota is an open carry state. It is legal for people to carry guns in this state. And if he didn't have the proper paperwork, that is not a capital offense. And police have no business judging and condemning someone to death, regardless of the crime. I don't know whether I'm more horrified that police shot and killed yet another black man in the city of Minneapolis, or that white folks are justifying the killing because Thurman had a gun. I'm horrified by both. And if you are a Christian and you were in church yesterday, you probably heard a sermon on God's abundance, because the lectionary texts focus on God's abundance, the feeding of the 5,000 in John's gospel. And in 2 Kings, a passage about a man who comes from a foreign country to offer the first fruits of harvest during a drought to the prophet Elisha. In both cases, all were fed, and there was more than enough. In the 2 Kings case, it's very clear that God provided even for people who were not commonly recognized as the people of God, or who didn't self-identify as the people of God. And in John's gospel, there's no way that all 5,000 or more gathered were Jews. They were people who were in need, they were hungry, they needed healing. They gathered to hear what Jesus had to say. Now, we as Christians, particularly as white Christians, we pat ourselves on the back anytime we write a check to missions, or we feel good about ourselves because we recognize that God loves us and therefore we are free to love others. Problem is, we seldom take this out into the world. When are we going to insist that our government bodies, our police departments, treat all people with dignity and respect and stop killing people of color? When are we going to insist on justice for all human beings? I know some of you aren't going to like that I have this to say, but there is no place in the people of God's hearts for racism. There is no place in the church for justifying racist behaviors on the part of police department or the judicial system. We want to make a difference in the world. We want to claim that God loves us all the same. Well, then get out there. Register to vote. Vote against people who want the same old, and vote people into office who are willing to take down the structures that exist that reinforce racism and white supremacy. We can do this. We need to be doing this if we are truly the people of God and we believe that God's abundance covers all of humanity. Enough is enough. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.